Power begins the moment you stop expecting justice. The world is not a fairy tale. This is the market of desires. Everyone wants something. Respect, recognition, safety, love. And most are ready to give up their pride for this. That's why they break. That's why they suffer. The one who cannot be manipulated is not the strongest. He is the one who needs nothing that he cannot take or create himself. Dependency is the true enemy, not cruelty. By mastering it, you rise to unattainable heights. The most dangerous weakness is not fear. It is attachment, a quiet dependence on being noticed. Once you begin to care, the map to your destruction is drawn by your own hand. Machiavelli never sought peace. He analyzed it. He carved out every part of himself that could be used as leverage. He turned attachment into protection and silence into a weapon that no one could touch. Because feelings are a signal in the dark. They show hunters where to aim. Every insult is reconnaissance. Every pause is a test. Every betrayal is a test to see if you will suffer on command. Stop suffering. Stop responding. Become the silence that disrupts the atmosphere. A person who masters their inner world does not wear armor. Their mind is a blade. Their calmness is a trap. His stillness is a performance disguised as peace. It is not numbness. It is purification by fire. You will cut away what trembles. You will burn what pleads. When you grasp this law, pain becomes static. Betrayal becomes insignificant, and loss is just another gift of your evolution. When everything is over, they will seek your weakness. They will find only an echo. They will find smoke. They will find nothing. Somewhere in your life, someone taught you the wrong equation. That caring equals strength. That showing emotions proves depth. That vulnerability brings loyalty. They lied not out of cruelty, but out of ignorance. Because what is considered compassion in this world often turns out to be mere openness. The more you feel in public, the easier it is to predict you in private. Think of every instance when you experienced humiliation, contempt, betrayal. It did not happen because they defeated you. It happened because they read you. They saw the tremor behind your calmness, the wavering behind your confidence. They used your own sensitivity as a weapon. You called it love. They called it leverage. Pain has its architecture. It builds on repetition, the same emotional patterns, masked as new people. Different faces, the same script. You give, they take, you trust. They test, you react, they win. And every time you swear, you will learn. But education never comes, because emotions continue to write the same story. Machiavelli understood what most will never understand. Emotions are not moral, they are mechanical. They exist to be observed, not obeyed. A ruler who reacts to insult loses the throne due to mockery. A lover who reacts to distance loses the relationship out of fear. Reaction is capitulation disguised as honesty. Your weakness is not in what you feel, it is in how you display your feelings. A sigh, a pause, a nervous message. These are signals. People trained in survival can read signs better than words. If you want to change the situation, do not resist the world. Shut down the broadcast. Stop giving away your map. From this moment, you start gathering data, not causing harm. When someone provokes you, do not defend yourself. Record it. When someone leaves, do not chase after them. Analyze. Every reaction you do not show returns to you a strength you did not even suspect. You begin to see through illusions. Most people do not seek the truth. They want an advantage. They will call you cold, distant, remote. Let them talk. They are simply describing a person they can no longer control. This is where detachment begins, not in hatred, but in awareness. You finally see the mechanism of emotions and choose to step out of it. From this moment begins the work of dismantling the need for recognition, eliminating dependence on reactions, and achieving the calm posture of indifference. Because the first step to immunity is simple. You stop allowing the world to decide when you are hurt. Detachment does not begin with tranquility. It begins with a retreat, not from people, but from the game. For many years, you played a role, smiling when it was uncomfortable, arguing to be understood, apologizing to be accepted. You confuse appearance with closeness. The world taught you that if you explain yourself enough, you will be safe. But safety never came. Fatigue arrived. Every justification was an unpaid debt to others' opinions. Now you stop explaining. You cease trying to be understood correctly. Let misunderstanding be your shield. The more they guess, the less they can achieve. The first rule of detachment is silence. Not silence as absence, but silence as architecture. You use it to observe how others fill the void. Listen carefully. When silence falls, truth begins to seep through. People rush to fill the silence with confessions, their tone, their rhythm, their sudden relaxation. These are the clues. You do not retreat to hide. You retreat to listen better. The second rule is neutral observation. You stop labeling events as good or bad. You view them as information. Someone insults you. Note it down. Someone betrays you. Classify it. Someone praises you. Mark it as motivation. Each event becomes part of intelligence rather than a wound. Emotion used to be your gaze. Now it's your sample for analysis. The third rule is reaction delay. Reaction is currency, and the world trades it daily. Every social platform, every conversation, every quarrel depends on speed. Who flinches first? Who writes first? Who apologizes first? When you delay your reaction, you disrupt the market. You create time, and time is the throne of control. Let the seconds stretch. Allow people to ponder whether they have assessed you correctly. That moment of hesitation you evoke in them is your advantage. They will correct their mistakes before you say anything. Rule 4. Adjust the distance. Detachment is not isolation. It is a measure. You do not disappear from the world. You step back enough so that nothing touches your core. You are present at a meeting, but you keep your strength to yourself. You speak charmingly, but independently. You love, but without cult. Imagine this as an emotional attraction. Everyone feels your magnetic power, but no one reaches the center. This center belongs only to you. Rule 5. Rid yourself of excessive empathy. Empathy without discernment is self-destruction. Before, you absorb the moods of those around you, thinking it made you kind. In reality, it only made you vulnerable. Now you choose what to absorb and what to observe. Someone's fury should pass like the weather. Someone's flattery. Pay attention to its temperature. Don't allow yourself to soak in it. The world doesn't need another sponge. It needs a mirror. Reflect. Don't hold on. Rule 6. Ritualize calmness. Calmness is not an innate quality but a result of practice. You develop it just as warriors cultivate reflexes. Repetition. Every morning, practice indifference to trivial matters. Ignore unnecessary messages. Breathe before responding. Walk slower than your impulse suggests. Small acts of control become muscle memory for chaos. When real storms come, calmness will already be your norm. Rule 7. Protect your personal space like blood. Modern weakness begins with excessive openness. You lay out your emotions. You speak of pain. You invite the viewers. Each confession is a manipulation guide. Detachment thrives in secrecy. Let people see the movement, but not the reasons. Let them try to guess what drives you. Because when they can't find your heart, they stop aiming at it. At this stage, something strange happens. The noise of the world begins to fade. Insults sound like rehearsed phrases. Flattery feels scripted. You start to notice patterns. Behavioral cycles that once consumed you now appear mechanical. You haven't become colder. You've become clearer. You no longer swim in emotions. You walk on their surface. But detachment has its price. You will lose the illusion of universal sympathy. You will cease to be a comfort for those who feed on your reactions. Let them call it distance. Let them call it pride. It is simply a lack of permission. Ultimately, control becomes quiet. There is no performance left, only presence. You do not chase understanding. You radiate confidence. Your words are reduced to essence. Your eyes stop seeking validation. When people speak, you hear intention before sound. When they act, you see the motive before the movement. You have shifted from participation to observation, from victim to strategist. Here is the mechanism of detachment. It is not escape, but control. You do not hide from pain. You redirect where it lands. You create an inner space so stable that the outside world becomes weather, not fate. Let it rain if necessary, or storm if it will. You remain unshakable. Now people will feel the changes. They will test you, probing your armor, trying to bring back old reactions. Smile. Let them play their usual games. React only when it serves your purpose. Each time you reject provocation, you create a new layer of iron within your calm. Detachment was a cleansing. Strength is what you build on this silence. When you stop reacting, People begin to reveal themselves. They speak to fill your silence. They make confessions to understand you. They try to earn a response that you no longer give. This hunger becomes your lever. Control is not seized. It is granted by those who crave the attention you no longer give. The first rule of power is presence without pursuit. You do not chase after places, opportunities, or people. You create attraction, your sequence, your calmness, your unwillingness to plead. All of this becomes a signal. The world adjusts to you because you are a fixed point in its chaotic rotation. Understand, attention is submission. At the moment they start looking for your reaction, they acknowledge your significance. You do not give them the satisfaction of certainty. One glance, a pause, a delayed response. These are your new negotiations. Every second of waiting increases your value. The second rule is precision. You spend years expressing thoughts in paragraphs. Now you speak in sentences. You speak rarely, but when you do, you aim for effect. Every word should evoke something: fear, respect, curiosity, silence. Never explain your motives. Describe the results. Explanation makes you more human. Prediction deifies. The third rule is controlled unpredictability. Predictable people can be programmed. A person who always forgives invites betrayal. A person who sometimes forgives, sometimes disappears, instills fear. Power survives within uncertainty. Keep your patterns irregular. Let them guess which version of you they will meet. This doubt disciplines them better than any rules. The fourth rule is emotional reorientation. You do not kill emotions. You use them as weapons. Anger becomes a signal of strength. Sadness is an analysis. Desire is a strategy. Every emotion you master becomes a tool. You decide when and for whom to use it. Those who cannot read your emotions will overly interpret your silence, and this misunderstanding hides control. The fifth rule is selective exposure. Power thrives in secrecy. Show fragments, never the whole picture. Open what supports your narrative. Conceal what sustains it. The more they assume, the more they miscalculate. A miscalculation is currency. You can bankrupt entire egos with one unspoken question. The sixth rule is discipline in solitude. Most people crumble in silence. Their minds consume them. You train there. Silence becomes a forge. Every thought you hone in solitude strengthens the armor of your clarity. Loneliness is not loneliness. It is a laboratory where weakness dies and direction forms. When you appear again, every movement will seem effortless because you practiced it in the dark. The seventh rule is mercy as a mask. Power is not cruelty. It is restraint. A predator that never eats in front of the pack instills more fear than one who openly feasts. Let them think you are kind. Let them mistakenly perceive patience as softness. Mercy confuses the ambitious. It keeps them close, making them doubt whether they are safe or being watched. The eighth rule is decisive endings. When something or someone no longer serves your purpose, end it clearly. No drama, no warnings. Closure is for the sentimental. You leave without echo, and your absence becomes what haunts. It teaches all observers the price of betrayal. The ninth law, internal monarchy. You are both the king and the kingdom. Your thoughts are the citizens. Your habits are the laws. Discipline means managing this internal state with the same authority you exert outwardly. Sleep on schedule, speak when it is useful, act when it is beneficial. Freedom without structure is wandering. Power without order is decay. Every command you give and fulfill strengthens the empire felt by others. By this moment, something irreversible has begun. The world that once oppressed you bends slightly as you walk. People soften their tone before you respond. They weigh words that could have hurt you before. It's not fear, it's calibration. They feel that you are no longer reactive matter, but a reflective surface. They see themselves, but can never reach you. This is the discipline of power. To remain untouched while touching everything. Change the atmosphere only with your presence. Guide without declaring it. Punish without violence. Be mentioned everywhere, but fully known nowhere. And when you reach this level, remember, true power leaves no traces. You will move quietly among the noise, influencing decisions never made, reshaping hierarchies with pauses, and watching chaos dissolve into your calm. This is how the invisible triumph. They rule without proclamation. They win without movement. They pass through storms and remain completely dry. From here, you do not chase control. You are control. And the world, sensing this, begins to revolve around your silence. At this stage, the noise quiets down. You speak less. You think slower. You no longer run towards chaos. You watch him dissolve. The calm you created is not peace. It's immunity. Every person you ever feared losing was an unprotected entry point. Every emotion you ever showed was a signal for exploitation. But now, you have closed those gates, and the silence around you is not emptiness. It is pressure. The world, once filled with distractions, now bends under your calmness. Immunity does not mean you feel nothing. It means nothing decides for you. The immune person still bleeds, but his blood no longer attracts predators. He passes through betrayal like rain, aware of the weather, but untouched by it. Here, most stop. They confuse distance with mastery. But true immunity runs deeper. It is a design. This is the moment when emotion no longer controls meaning. The first principle of immunity: interpretation is power. Pain does not define you. It submits to you. You choose what loss means, what refusal becomes, what silence signifies. A weaker mind reacts to pain. The sovereign sets boundaries for her. If you decide that betrayal is information, it becomes education. If you decide that refusal is evidence of inconsistency, it becomes redirection. Immunity is the power to rename what once owned you. The second principle is restraint. Emotions still come, but now they obey you. You observe them, classify them, and then archive them. You do not spill them out, do not confess, you hold them back. Every secret you keep strengthens your autonomy, and every suppressed feeling accumulates energy for strategy. The immune do not suppress, they manage. The third principle is independence. Most people confuse attachment with loyalty. They lean on others, partners, friends, whose approval serves as their support. But immunity begins when you destroy these supports. You stop asking others to maintain your inner peace. You cease allowing attachments to define your mood. You no longer give approval the right to rewrite your identity. From this moment, your value is an internal law, not external opinion. You are both the judge and the accused, and your verdict is final. The fourth principle is measured kindness. Do not confuse immunity with cruelty. You still care, but strategically. Your empathy is distributed. Your kindness is precise. You give where it adds value, not where it depletes. Even warmth becomes a choice, not an instinct. This is how you maintain control while still being human. The fifth principle is balance under pressure. The calmness of an immune person is their weapon. Most are puppets of stimulus. Praise makes them loud. Threat brings panic. You stay in place. You think while others react. And because you think, you win. Control is never about domination. It is a matter of duration. Those who endure longer dictate the outcome. The sixth principle is invisible power. True strength does not announce itself. Noise reveals uncertainty. Therefore, you disappear into balance. People begin to feel it even before they see it. The quiet weight of someone who is not influenced. You don't need to prove anything. You don't even need to react. Your restraint becomes a legend. And legends do not argue. They are interpreted. The final principle is the self-sufficiency of meaning. You have built a life that feeds on inner strength. You do not chase happiness. You create it. You do not seek a goal. You are the goal, manifested through discipline. This is the highest form of freedom, a state where the world can no longer exchange your peace for its noise. At some point, people will call you incomprehensible, detached, other. They will whisper that something has changed in you. They are right. You have stopped being material for their games. You no longer react to the chaos of others. You have become an environment, unshakable, essential, indispensable. And when they try to hurt you, they will find no vulnerable spots left. Their words pass through the air. Their silence loses its power. Their betrayal finds no support because you are no longer the one they once wounded. You have become your own space.